Michael Jordan's story. I failed 1,000 times. Then I learned this secret. Welcome, my incredible friends. Today I will tell you a story that is not just powerful, it's life-changing. This is not just the story of a basketball player. This is the story of a boy who was told he wasn't good enough, a teenager who got cut from his high school team, a man who turned every rejection into rocket fuel, and became the greatest of all time. His name was Michael Jordan. You know him as his airness, the basketball legend, but very few people know the full truth behind the glory, the championships, and the legacy. This story will break your heart, rebuild your spirit, and teach you the secret that separates champions from everyone else. Because inside Michael's story, there is something for all of us. You'll learn what it means to transform failure into unstoppable power. You'll see the truth about persistence, pain, and the champion mindset. And most importantly, you'll improve your English while discovering the secret that changed everything. As you listen to his real story, you'll also improve your English through emotion, real-life vocabulary, and simple storytelling. This is not just a story. This is a masterclass in turning pain into greatness. So sit back, open your heart, and let's begin. Part 1. The Boy Who Wasn't Good Enough. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York. But his family moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, when he was just a child. His father, James, worked at a General Electric plant. His mother, Dolores, was a bank teller. Michael had 4 siblings. But from the beginning, Michael was different. As a child, Michael was obsessed with competition. He didn't just want to win. He needed to win. Everything was a contest. Every game, every race, every challenge he turned into a battle. His family said he hated losing more than he loved winning. But here's what most people don't know. Michael wasn't naturally the best athlete. His older brother, Larry, was actually better at basketball. Michael was shorter, smaller, and had to fight for every opportunity. In middle school, Michael loved baseball more than basketball. He dreamed of playing professional baseball. Basketball? That was just something fun to do. But life had different plans. When Michael reached high school at Emsley A. Laney High School, he decided to try out for the varsity basketball team. He was confident. He was ready. He knew he belonged. But on that day, in his sophomore year, something happened that would change everything. The coach, Clifton "Pop" Herring, posted the list of players who made the team. Michael ran to check, his heart pounding with excitement. He looked at the list once, twice, 3 times. His name wasn't there. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Think about that. The man who would become the greatest basketball player of all time wasn't good enough for his high school team. How did he react? Michael later said, "I went to my room and I cried." But here's where the secret begins. Instead of giving up, instead of switching to another sport, instead of accepting defeat, Michael made a decision that would define his entire life. He used that pain as fuel. He asked the coach, "What do I need to do?" The coach said, "Get better, grow taller, come back next year." So Michael went to work. Every day after the junior varsity team practice, he stayed on the court, alone, shooting, dribbling, running, practicing. He would imagine the varsity players laughing at him. He would remember the feeling of seeing his name missing from that list. And every memory, every embarrassment, every doubt became motivation. His mother, Dolores, found him crying one night after practice. She asked, "Baby, what's wrong?" Michael said, "They said I'm not good enough." Her response changed everything. "Then show them they're wrong." That summer, Michael grew 4 inches, but more importantly, his mindset grew even more. He didn't just want to make the team anymore. He wanted to dominate. When tryouts came the next year, Michael was a different person. Taller, stronger, faster, but most importantly, hungrier. Not only did he make the varsity team, he became the star player. But the lesson wasn't about basketball. The lesson was about transformation. Have you ever been told you're not good enough? Have you ever been rejected from something you wanted desperately? Keep listening, because Michael's story will show you how to turn that pain into your greatest weapon. Part 2. The College Years and the Secret. Revealed after dominating high school basketball, Michael received a scholarship to the University of North Carolina to play for legendary coach Dean Smith. But even at UNC, Michael wasn't the obvious superstar. He was good, but not the best player on the team. In his freshman year, 1982, UNC made it to the NCAA championship game against Georgetown. The game came down to the final seconds. Georgetown was leading. UNC needed a miracle. Coach Dean Smith looked down his bench and called a play for the freshman Michael Jordan. With 15 seconds left, Michael took the shot. That would launch his legend. Swish. UNC won the championship. But here's what's incredible. After hitting the biggest shot of his college career, Michael didn't celebrate. He was already thinking about the next game, the next season, the next challenge. His teammates asked, "Mike, how do you do it? How do you stay so calm?" Michael's answer revealed the secret. "I already failed so many times in my mind that success doesn't surprise me. I prepare for failure so I can handle success." This is where the secret becomes clear. Michael had learned to use failure as preparation. Every missed shot, every mistake, every embarrassment became a mental rehearsal for greatness. Most people avoid thinking about failure. Michael embraced it. He would visualize missing the game-winning shot. He would imagine the crowd booing. He would mentally practice the worst-case scenarios. And then, when those moments came, he was ready. In college, Michael's statistics were good, but not legendary. He wasn't the leading scorer. He wasn't the most famous player. But he was becoming something more valuable, mentally unbreakable. After 3 years at UNC, Michael declared for the NBA draft. And here's where the story gets interesting. On draft night 1984, Michael Jordan was not selected first. He wasn't selected second. Michael Jordan was selected third by the Chicago Bulls. The Portland Trail Blazers selected Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan. They said Michael was too risky. They said he was just a good college player. Once again, Michael was told he wasn't good enough. And once again, he took that rejection and turned it into rocket fuel. During his rookie year in Chicago, Michael called the Portland general manager. Not to complain, not to argue, but to say, "Thank you for motivating me." Every time Chicago played Portland, Michael scored more points. Every time someone doubted him, he performed better. Every rejection became ammunition. But the real secret wasn't just about using failure as motivation. The secret was deeper. Michael had learned to redefine failure completely. For most people, failure means, "I'm not good enough." For Michael, failure meant, "I'm not good enough yet." That one word, yet, changed everything. Part 3. The Championship Years and the Ultimate Secret. Michael's early years in the NBA were filled with incredible individual success, but team failure. He won scoring titles, he broke records, but the Chicago Bulls couldn't win championships. For 6 straight years, they lost in the playoffs. The media said Michael was too selfish. They said he couldn't win the big one. They said he would never be like Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. And here's the most important part of Michael's story. Instead of defending himself, instead of making excuses, instead of blaming others, Michael asked himself the most powerful question a person can ask: what do I need to change? He realized that being the best individual player wasn't enough. He needed to make his teammates better. He needed to trust his coach's system. He needed to evolve from a scorer to a leader. So Michael went back to work, not just on his basketball skills, but on his leadership, his communication, his ability to elevate others. He studied every weakness. He analyzed every loss. He turned every criticism into a curriculum. And then, in 1991, everything changed. The Chicago Bulls won their first NBA championship. But Michael wasn't satisfied. He won again in 1992, and again 3 championships in a row. But instead of relaxing, instead of celebrating, Michael shocked the world. He retired from basketball. Why? Because he had conquered basketball. And the secret was calling him to a new challenge. Michael decided to play professional baseball, the sport he had loved as a child. The sport where he had no reputation, no advantages, no guarantees. For 1 year, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player alive, played minor league baseball. He wasn't good. He struggled. He failed, publicly, every single day. The media laughed. Fans criticized. People said he was embarrassing himself. But Michael was practicing the secret at the highest level. He was choosing to fail in order to grow. He was deliberately putting himself in uncomfortable situations to expand his capabilities. After 1 season, Michael returned to basketball. And what happened next was legendary. From 1996 to 1998, the Chicago Bulls won 3 more championships. 6 championships in 8 years. Michael Jordan became the undisputed greatest of all time. But here's the ultimate secret. Michael's greatness wasn't built on success. It was built on his relationship with failure. While other players avoided situations where they might fail, Michael sought them out. While others made excuses for their mistakes, Michael studied them. While others were afraid of criticism, Michael used it as information. In his Hall of Fame speech, Michael said something that reveals the complete secret. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. This is the secret that separates champions from everyone else. The lessons that will transform your life. My dear friends, as we come to the end of this incredible story, let me share the most powerful lessons from Michael's journey, lessons that can change how you approach every challenge in your life. Lesson 1. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's the path to success. Michael didn't succeed despite his failures. He succeeded because of his failures. Every rejection, every mistake, every embarrassment became a stepping stone to greatness. What failure in your life can you reframe as preparation? Lesson 2. The secret ingredient is yet. When someone tells you you're not good enough, add one word, yet. You're not good enough yet. You can't do it yet. You haven't achieved it yet. That word transforms everything, from a permanent limitation to a temporary condition. Lesson 3. Champions don't avoid failure, they seek it. Michael chose to play baseball when he could have stayed in his basketball comfort zone. He deliberately put himself in situations where failure was likely, because he knew that growth only happens outside your comfort zone. What challenge are you avoiding because you might fail? Lesson 4. Use criticism as curriculum. Every negative comment, every doubt, every criticism, Michael turned into a lesson plan. Instead of defending himself, he asked, "What can I learn from this?" Your critics might be your greatest teachers if you're brave enough to listen. Lesson 5. The game is played between your ears. Michael's greatest victories happened in his mind before they happened on the court. He visualized failure so he could handle success. He prepared mentally for every possibility. Your mindset determines your success more than your talent. You've just listened to the full story of Michael Jordan. You laughed, you felt inspired, you discovered the secret that turns ordinary people into legends. You learned about resilience and maybe about yourself. But most importantly, you improved your English through real emotion and powerful storytelling. But now, I ask you, what are you doing with your failures? Are you hiding from them or using them as fuel? Are you afraid to try again? Or are you hungry for the next challenge? Are you making excuses or are you making improvements? Let Michael's story speak to you now, not as a fan, but as someone who wants to be great. You have one life. Don't waste it being afraid of failure. Don't let rejection define your limits. Don't leave your potential unrealized. Michael didn't become great despite being cut from his high school team. He became great because being cut taught him the most valuable lesson of his life. And as you followed this journey, you were also improving your English. You learned real vocabulary. You understood real emotions. You listened to natural storytelling. That's how English becomes your language, not through boring textbooks, but through powerful stories, like this one. So keep going. Watch again. Learn again. And remember, the more you fail, the more you learn, the more you grow. Michael Jordan showed us that the secret to success isn't avoiding failure. It's transforming failure into fuel. So, to Michael, we say, thank you for showing us that being cut doesn't mean being defeated. Thank you for proving that the greatest victories come from the greatest failures. Thank you for teaching us that champions aren't born, they're forged in the fire of adversity. Dear viewer, if this story inspired your heart, if you learned something new, if you feel ready to face your next challenge, then please share it. Leave a comment, subscribe for more powerful stories, and keep improving your English because you're becoming stronger every day. We'll meet again in the next story. Until then, fail forward, learn always, and never give up. The secret is yours. Goodbye.